Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for hopping on today's webinar, Leveraging Value-Based Licensing within the Siemens product portfolio. My name is Rob Stepek. I'm an account manager here at CAMlogic, and I will be presenting today with our Solid Edge application engineer, Jason Walker. And again, we appreciate everybody hopping on today. Today's webinar presentation will last about a half an hour. And if you wouldn't mind, if you have any questions at all pertaining to today's webinar, please put them in the chat. We'll do our very best to answer the questions at the end of today's presentation. If there's anything very specific that you want to get into, feel free to reach out to your account managers. We'll have their contact information at the end of today's presentation, and we're happy to address any questions that you might have. So a quick overview of today. For those of you who are new to CAMlogic, we'll do an introduction to who we are and how we help our customers. Then we'll start talking a little bit about how value-based licensing or the tokens work. And then from there, we'll hand it on over to Jason Walker to talk about why use value-based licensing, how this particular approach to licensing can help your design teams, as well as the functionality within both Solid Edge and NX. So to start, CAMlogic, who we are and how we help our customers, we consider ourselves to be a holistic engineering solutions provider. We are a proud partner of Siemens PLM as well as Markforged Additive Manufacturing. So we sell, service, and support both of those product lines. In conjunction with that, we do manufacturing services for our customers. And the reason why I bring that up is that we use the hardwares and softwares that we sell. So CAMlogic would never go to our customers and hand a case study over or a white paper and say, you know, a product should work or this should be okay, or yes, this should meet your needs. We use the products that we sell in-house today. So we're experts in manufacturing. We're experts in the Siemens PLM space. We're experts in the Markforged additive manufacturing space. We do as well as manufacturing services, additional services such as quality control, reverse engineering with a lot of metrology equipment. We have an entire engineering design team here at CAMlogic. So again, a wealth of knowledge and expertise here. Please feel free to leverage us. We want to make sure that our customers are successful. And again, if there's anything manufacturing related CAMlogic can be assisting with, we are here to support. So why are we doing this webinar and why are we really trying to instill the confidence of value-based licensing with our customers? So really kind of when we thought about, you know, why we wanted to do this presentation, where this presentation fit, few things came up. First, to start, value-based licensing and the tokens concept through Siemens is still a relatively new concept for a lot of CAMlogic's customer base. The concept has been around for a little bit within the NX product portfolio, but it is brand new to the Solid Edge portfolio. So we thought it'd be a great opportunity to start off 2023 talking about some of these new tools that are available to our customers in order to help your design teams do things better. Obviously, we want our designers to have a full tool belt in order to improve efficiencies and improve on how it is that they go about designing parts and designing assemblies and being able to get those parts and designs on over to the manufacturing team, eventually into your customers' hands. In our experience and our time here at CAMlogic, we found that a lot of design teams have troubles and really run into issues when it comes to things like understanding the requirements of a project. Is the requirements driven by a customer? Is it driven by a catalog of product that the manufacturer already has? You know, what are the things that are pertinent to the success of a particular project? Fail fast with design validation, things like prototyping and simulation. Can we validate our designs quickly and effectively so that we can continue moving in a time frame that is going to meet what your customers' requirements for the parts are, which then ties into timelines and deadlines. You know, are we able to get our projects completed effectively and efficiently in a time frame that we are being asked to complete it in? Still in today's market, there is a real shortage of labor and there's a shortage of skill. We may have people on our team that are extremely skilled, but maybe they don't have the tools that they need to be successful, or people who are really bright and just if they're exposed to product and they're exposed to different tools within NX and Solid Edge, they can learn and grow and become more efficient. So again, it's a real lacking area of, do I have all of the tools that I need to be successful? And last, being able to communicate, whether that be with your customers or being able to communicate with teams internally. How do design teams effectively convey what it is that they're trying to do within the design process? These token modules, the value-based licensing that we're going to be talking about today, I think hits on a lot of these particular challenges that manufacturing design teams run into. And again, hopefully there's a lot of education that's shared for everybody today. That being said, we'll hand this on over to Jason Walker to tackle the technical bits and pieces of value-based licensing. And Jason, we'll let you take it, sir.
All right. Thank you, Rob. To address those challenges discussed on that previous slide, we have two different portfolios. We have both NX and Solid Edge. Each has an entire portfolio of different tools that can be used to address all of the various challenges that Rob discussed in the previous slide. Both softwares have a different sort of traditional licensing scenario, just to kind of give us a base where we would normally start off. You have a traditional either floating or node locked seats, and then on top of those, you individually purchase some of the add-ons. So for NX, you may have a Mach 1 or Mach Designer seat, and then your add-ons would be either translators, design simulation, maybe Prog Die Wizard, product manufacturing information. Those would be add-ons to the base seat, and you would need one license for each workstation or user using it. Same goes for Solid Edge. In a traditioning license scenario, you either have floating or node locked licenses for your base seats, and then of course the add-ons are on top of that. You have, you would need at least one generative design seat to use that tool, at least one wiring harness seat to use that tool, so on and so forth. So that brings us to the next topic. What are tokens? How does that differ from that traditional licensing style? So instead of having a license for a specific tool, your license server tracks and has a set number of tokens. When a user needs a tool and opens that tool and starts using it with tokens, instead of a license, a specified number of tokens get reserved on the server. That number is determined and is dependent on which tool is being used. So generative design, for example, has a different token value than PMI. Any remaining tokens that are still available on the tool, on the server, are able to be used by other users on other workstations with other tools, so long as there's enough tokens available. And then when a user is finished with a tool and they're done using it, those tokens that they reserved are then returned and made available again, so that another user or maybe a different tool can be checked out instead. That way, you have a lot of flexibility with the who and which tools are being used and when. This is a bit of a graphic example, just to make it a little bit more clear exactly how this works. So this would all be floating, and you have a central server. In this example, it has 50 tokens, and we have 4 workstations. The first workstation checks out a tool that's worth 10 tokens. Then the second workstation checks out another tool, this one being 15 tokens. So does the third workstation. So now the server has 10 tokens available. Then the first workstation is done using the tool they were working on, and it returns those tokens back to the server, leaving us at 20 tokens. And then the second workstation, they're finished with their tool, and so those 15 tokens are then returned, leaving us with 35. Now that there's enough tokens available, Workstation 4 is able to check out a different tool that is worth 25 tokens. This is just another graphic just to make it a little bit more clear. This would be like a typical day leveraging tokens, a good way to demonstrate how it might work. So you come in the morning, 9:30. You start with express route some hoses or pipes, and then at 10 a.m. somebody else starts using the normal mode analysis, which is part of the simulation standard tools. And so that's worth 12 tokens. So we still have 7 tokens available. Then at 10:30, somebody else starts using the PMI or product manufacturing information, which is worth 4 tokens. So now they have 3 tokens available. Then at 12:30, everybody breaks for lunch. And so all of those tokens get returned, and there's 25 tokens available. Then the original user, that first user who was using express route, he starts using, once he gets back from lunch, he grabs the generative design study tool, which is worth 25 tokens. So unfortunately for everyone else, he's hogging the tokens for the moment. So the token licensing cost is a lot better than in many situations than the traditional licensing approach. It also offers a lot of flexibility, and that first comes in the form of the number of products that can be run. So with one cost, so one pack of tokens, it allows you to run a very, very large number of products. And then the other thing is with the flexibility, it's not just one user that can use those products. So you can have one user on electrical routing, another on simulation, or any combination. And as long as you have enough tokens, you can have any number and combination of tools being used. There's also a cost savings with this, because instead of having to pay for one seat, or one of each seat of a tool that you use only on occasion, you're able to buy one set of tokens and use both tools. So it just allows a lot of flexibility, and depending on the token values, many applications can be used at any one time. And the more users that you have using these tokens and the tools included with them, the more value it has because of the simultaneous software options. So that leads us to the next question. When should you consider tokens? What are the optimal situations for tokens to be used in? The first would be, if you have to translate data, especially on the NX side, the tokens can be used with the translators, so that you don't have to buy an individual license for each type of translator. If you have jobs where you could use Mold Wizard for NX, that's another good example. It's a tool that's available, and you can, but you don't need it all the time. It's every now and again. PMI, that is or advanced PMI, that is a license that's available, I believe, in both softwares. So if you need it for certain jobs, but not every job, it's something you use sometimes, then it's perfect. You can use the other tools when you don't need PMI. If you have any sort of need for routing, whether it's for pipes, tubes, hoses, electrical, those are tools that are available. And if you don't need them all the time, then you can use them with the tokens. So to get to the specifics of each software portfolio, I'll start with Solid Edge here. There's 8 different applications or products available. And you can see the token values on the right. Express Route, the first one, is good for creating and organizing your any tubes, hoses, pipes within your design. Then there's electrical routing, which is a very similar product, but it is meant for more wires, cables, bundles within a sort of mechanical assembly. PCB collaboration integrates between electrical or computer-aided design and then mechanical computer-aided design. It helps communicate, between the environments. Simulation standard and advanced. The standard includes linear static. This is all within the finite element analysis. You have linear static, advanced motion, normal modes, and then linear buckling. Simulation advanced includes all of those, but also has harmonic response, steady state heat transfer, and transient heat transfer modes. We also have point cloud visualization, which helps you design equipment or make designs that are used within any sort of environment. So if you need to see where a new piece of equipment fits within a facility, such as a plant or factory, the point cloud visualization allows you to put that new piece of equipment, see where it can fit, see what changes may need to be made so that it can fit along those lines. And then lastly in the list, we have Generative Design Pro. This is a tool that allows you to start with your design goals, give it some parameters, and then using the generative design algorithm, it will generate and optimize the design so that you have a very efficient model when you're done. On the NX side, as we said previously, NX has been doing this a few years longer than Solid Edge has, and you can see each new version of Solid Edge. They've added new products to this token pool. And what that comes out to is sort of a list like this. If you have questions, if there's a specific tool you want to know that's in this list, let us know. This list is very long. I'm fairly confident it's in there. The left list is the design tools. The right list is the manufacturing tools. So if you need any information on which of these many licenses is in there, feel free to contact your account manager. They'll be able to get you the details you're looking for. It would just take a monumental amount of time to go through every single add-on in there. So to go over some of the more specific options and requirements to use tokens, Solid Edge and NX tokens are sold with subscription. Software is a subscription model and cannot be purchased with perpetual or as perpetual. You do need to have a base seat to go with the tokens. So for NX, that would be Mach 1 floating seats or above. The NX tokens, just so everyone's aware, they are split between design and manufacturing tools. So the pools are separated and the token packs are separated as well. You must be using NX12 or later to use the NX tokens. As we've said a couple of times, Solid Edge tokens are brand new. They can be accessed only in Solid Edge 2023, the latest version. And then, of course, the tokens are bought in packs or pools. For NX, those are sold in packs of 50 or 100. And for Solid Edge, it is 25 or 50 tokens at a time. So to expand your CAD toolkit, give us a call, let us know, talk with CamLogic. We should be able to help get the right size and configuration so that you have the best combination of both perpetual seats or subscription seats, and then as well as tokens, so that you're using all of your licenses as efficiently and optimally as possible.
Thanks, Jason. We appreciate you running through all that good stuff. And again, I know that this was probably a new introduction to a lot of the functionality that Siemens is allowing for their customers to take advantage of here. Now that we're moving into the software as a service model. And again, CamLogic is here to help. So I'm sure a lot of folks on the call are wondering, where to start, where do we go, how do we explore our options here. So to start, if anybody is interested in specific functionality, we're happy to do software demos for the team. Again, we have a lot of resources here where we can bring up specific modules and show you how things work. In conjunction with that, I think a lot of folks probably ought to go back to the design teams internally that you have and start asking yourselves, okay, well, how many times throughout the course of a year do we ask, man, it'd be really nice to have, say, a translator of some sort, or it'd be really helpful to, have an additional seat of, say, Mold Wizard because we have another job that comes on, but it only happens sporadically, those sort of things. And start thinking about the justification to say, hey, maybe we can expand using value-based licensing models here. And again, CamLogic is here to help with that conversation. If there is anything that we could be doing to support, we're, again, here to help our customers be successful. One of the points of note that I did want to also bring up as we're starting to wrap up here and see if there's any questions that are coming through is that we talked a lot about design tools and being able to use design capabilities on both the Solid Edge and NX side. With NX being a little bit of a more mature product with regards to value-based licensing, NX does also have tokens and value-based licensing available for their CAM and simulation tools as well. So if there's anybody on the line today who's sitting at a CNC machine or doing a lot of meshing and analysis through advanced simulation, there are manufacturing tokens as well as SimCenter tokens that are available as well. So again, this is a little bit new shift for Siemens, moving away from the traditional, we have to buy a CATIA translator, or we have to buy a seat of Prog Wizard, or we have to buy a seat of Checkmate, and being able to really open up basically the entire tool belt of what NX and Solid Edge have available beyond just a seat of CAD or a seat of CAM. So again, I know it's a new concept. CamLogic is here to support. We want to make sure our customers are successful. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. CamLogic is located here in Auburn Hills, Michigan. But there are some of our account managers, Emily, Josh, myself, we're more than happy to support. So again, ask us how we can help. We're here to make sure that our customers are successful and again, navigate the new opportunities that Siemens is providing for their customers. That being said, we'll keep an eye on the chat menu here. We're going to wrap up today's presentation. Any questions that come through, we're happy to address, or if there is anything specific that you would like us to tackle offline, please feel free to reach out to Emily, Josh, or myself, and we're happy to support.